Hello, my name is Rob Morton, President and CEO of bankHometown, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today at our newest location at 270 Grove Street here in Worcester. For those of you who are saying, where's 270 Grove Street? If you've been in the city for a long time, you'll remember the old Gervais car wash, an iconic landmark in the city for decades. Well, Dominic and Alice Lombardi of the Bean Counter Bakery purchased the property and built a new bakery here. And we are the tenant right on the street front store area on Grove Street. Speaking of which, this is our second location in the city. And with us, I'd like to, in addition to Alice and Dominic, I'd like to thank a few other people. Greg Rosen from the NES Group, who was our GC in this project. They did a fantastic job. Adrenaline Group and Rob Small and his team, which designed this fabulous space. And then Mike and Mark Rompamato of Antonelli Construction, a local Worcester contracting company that did a fabulous job and on budget. And I'd also like to thank numerous bankHometown employees and HFG Hometown Financial Group people that helped, but they're so numerous. In the interest of time, I would actually like to introduce a couple of people. First, I'd like to introduce Joe Loriano. He's our branch manager here at this location, was formerly our branch manager over at our other Worcester location at 1001 Millbury Street. And Erica Heredia, who was at our Arbor location and was promoted to assistant branch manager. And as I mentioned, this is our second location in Worcester, but we have 16 locations overall throughout Central Mass and Northeast Connecticut. So I suspect no matter where you live or where you work, there is a bankHometown branch close by. And speaking of all those branches, I'd like to introduce you to Michelle Kyle, who is our branch administrator for all those 16 branches. So just very quickly about this branch, and hopefully I'll take the mic because I got to walk around a little bit. But this is a 1,700 square foot branch. We've got a couple of nice, beautiful offices. In addition to the night drop, we also have a drive-up ATM as well as a drive-up teller window. So for those of you who are still somewhat would prefer not to come into a retail store location, we do have the ability for you to do your transactions in the comfort and safety of your own vehicle. And that's on top of all the technology that we have. We have a robust online platform. We have apps, remote deposit capture, so you can do the vast majority of your banking within electronically. And so, as you can see, we're literally right on Grove Street. And without further ado, we have some important guests that I would like to introduce here today. The first is Bob Hennigan, who is here today in his capacity as from Robert Hennigan Law Offices. Bob Hennigan is here today at his capacity as chairman of the board of the Worcester Business Development Corporation. Alex, if we can hand to Bob, and then to his left is Craig Blaze, president and CEO of the Worcester Business Development Corporation, and to his left, I'm sure you all recognize, is Tim Murray, President and CEO of the Worcester Chamber of Commerce. And to his left is Steve Devine of Devine Jewelers, who's here in his capacity as the chairman of bankHometown. Now, one of the reasons why we're here today, in addition to celebrating this location, and reasons why we're all social distance, is because of, obviously, the pandemic. And this pandemic hit a lot of organizations hard, very hard. And the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce was absolutely affected the same way. And that was very evident when I was asked to MC the first ever virtual Breakfast Club meeting. And so it occurred to me that the Chamber was not able to generate or collect the typical revenues that it would do so as part of that Chamber breakfast. And then I realized, the fact that they wouldn't be able to do business after hours and so on and so on. So, and at the same time, the Chamber actually took it to another level in terms of their services to the community. Not only did they provide valuable services and information to businesses in need as a result of the pandemic in terms of getting information on PPP loans, grants, and things of that nature, they opened it up to non-Chamber members. And yet they were hit hard with their revenue stream decline, so much so that they had to lay off 1/3 of their workforce. So it was at this Chamber event, the breakfast event, that we launched the bankHometown Challenge, where we pledged for every dollar that was raised between June and Labor Day, we would match match, Bank Hometown would match dollar for dollar, 100%, up to $25,000. And not only am I pleased to say we achieved that, we've exceeded that. And with that said, I would ask Steve Devine, Chairman of the Board of Bank Hometown, to be kind enough to present the check to the Worcester Chamber, and I'll step aside.
Thank you, Rob. On behalf of Bank Hometown's Board of Directors, management, and staff, I'm pleased to present a check to the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $25,000. I'd also like to thank the Chamber for their many years of support of the small business community here in Worcester, for their support of our project here on Grove Street and many others like it, and for all you do for the city of Worcester. Thank you, Steve. Welcome, Tim.
Take the check. You want to say a few words? We'll give you the real check.
Yeah, well, I'll stay at the end then.
Okay, no, you can say a few words.
Thank you.
Great, Tim.
Well, Steve, thank you very much, and Rob, you know, when the COVID-19 crisis hit, it was both an economic and health situation for so many businesses, and 90% of our businesses are small businesses, and we immediately, with the support of our chamber board, in this moment of crisis, decided to open up our services, as Rob mentioned, to all businesses to help them get timely information that would be helpful to them as they tried to navigate this health and economic crisis. As Rob mentioned, the chamber was impacted as well, and that's why in June we were so thrilled to see and hear Rob as our MC at the bank, at our Breakfast Club, announce the Bank Hometown Challenge. And we saw the business community respond in a variety of different ways. As he mentioned, we exceeded the goal, and one of the organizations that we've partnered with and worked together with for over 50 years is the Worcester Business Development Corporation, and I want to acknowledge them for being a big part of why we've exceeded that challenge, as well as those small businesses and individual donors who reach into their own pocket during a very difficult time. It's deeply appreciated, and we're going to continue to play our role in advocating on behalf of the community, recruit, retain, incubate, as we look to regain the momentum for Worcester and Central Massachusetts. So just thrilled, and Rob, thank you for your leadership, Steve, and the entire board for supporting the chamber at this moment. So,
An astute observer would have noticed, and with Tim referencing, we do have the Worcester Business Development Corporation here, representation of Craig Blaze, President CEO, and Bob Hennigan, Chairman of the Board. And so the question I was going to pose, are they here to get money or to give money? But I think Tim kind of tipped his hand a little bit. So with that said, gentlemen, please come up.
Well, thank you, Rob and Steve. First, I'm Craig Blaze, the President and CEO of the Worcester Business Development Corporation. I want to congratulate you on this fantastic redevelopment. This is incredible. Another piece of the puzzle falling into place. These arteries going into the downtown are extremely critical corridors, and all of the small businesses that are housed along this way require these type of services, and to have a bank branch here and to revitalize this whole corner is critically important to the overall agenda of the city. So congratulations, you've done an incredible job in a multi-tenanted building, which we're all excited about to have that developed. With respect to the chamber, let me just say, and we're about here, I'll let my board chair, Bob Hennigan, announce our actual match and gift here to the chamber. But let me say this, the chamber is coming upon 150 years, and a lot of people don't realize that. They have been around in this community for 150 years. 55 years ago, they spun out an organization, now the Worcester Business Development Corporation. And it was designed as part of the chamber advocacy to be project specific, to take on projects to create tax base and to create jobs in not only Worcester, but in the region. It's the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. They represent a whole region of the state. So that was incredible. It was incredible foresight for them to do that. And then about 30 years ago, they spun out an organization called the Mass Biomedical Initiative, MBI, to be focused on building a life science cluster here in the city. And we mustn't forget that those three organizations working together, project, building a cluster, and advocating on behalf of business is so critically important to a region. And we can be proud to say we have so many successes that have resulted as the leadership of the Chamber of Commerce and the advocacy of the Chamber of Commerce to have a united business community, coordinated, working with the city of Worcester to do that. And to see the Chamber go through a difficult time and navigate that responsibly, we felt it was important to follow the lead of Hometown and to give back to the Chamber of Commerce, where we came from, our roots of where the WBDC came from. The WBDC, working together with the Chamber and the City of Worcester and MBI, launched a project called the Reactory. And most of you probably have seen and read, it's very successful. So now it's time to give back. The Chamber was there to help us in those early days to launch that, and now the Chamber needs our help to give back. So we're so pleased to provide a little bit of assistance back to the Chamber, and then help them as they approach 150 years to build the reserves that they need in the future to sustain and to continue to do the great work that Tim Murray and his entire team have been doing. So we're so pleased to be here, and I'd like to invite my board chair up, Bob Hennigan, to make the presentation.
Thank you, Craig. Tim, I have a check for you if you'd like to come on. Bob?
Sure.
Bob, on behalf of the Board of Directors of the WBDC, its staff and management, I want to present to you this check from the WBDC for $25,000 as part of the match for the Hometown Matching Grant Program. I just want to also say that the WBDC is very, very grateful for all the work that the Chamber has done in terms of presenting options for small businesses during the COVID crisis. I can tell you, as someone who deals with small businesses all the time, that what you did was effective, it was necessary, and it was very, very much appreciated. So in a small way, this is the WBDC's way of saying thank you for all that you did, and please continue to do that work. Thank you very much.
Bob and Craig, on behalf of the Chamber, thank you very much. This is not something small. This is something very much appreciated and needed for all the things that the Chamber has been doing for small businesses since the pandemic started. This is very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
And for those of you that might not have recognized, I'm Bob Cox, who's the Managing Director of Bob Dewey, who's here today on his capacity as Chairman of the Board of the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Craig, while we wrap up, Craig had spoke to the leadership of within this area. And when you think about where this city was 20 years ago and where it's gone over the last 10 years, where it is today and its trajectory, despite this, the pandemic and some of the economic issues resulted, I'm very optimistic and very hopeful that this city is going to continue to thrive. And it hasn't been by accident. It's been by the leadership of Tim Murray, now in his capacity as President and CEO. Prior to that, Lieutenant Governor, Mayor, and way back City Councilor. And also too, Craig Blaze, WBDC. There are multiple projects. Craig referred to the Reactory. We also, if you recall, Hanover Theater, Gateway Park, and so on and so on, and the Worcester T&G renovation. Those projects have been huge catalysts for the revitalization for this region. And then we have the benefit of a great Congressman in James McGovern, a great Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, and Ed Augustus, a city manager, and Tom Petty, Mayor Petty, Joe Petty, as our mayor, and I could go on and on and on. But the point being is that this leadership team works together for the betterment of the city and the region, and we're very thankful and very appreciative of their efforts. And with that said, I'm very thankful that you took the time to spend with us today to celebrate this new location, to appreciate and provide some funding for the Worcester Chamber of Regional Commerce. And on behalf of all the people here today, thank you very much for being with us, and I wish you a very great day.